Sometimes when we find ourselves not having things that come naturally to us, we have to practice allowing those things to be natural. Not a second nature, a primary nature. So practice being happy if happiness doesn't come naturally. You can practice yourself and become proficient at anything. Absolutely. Just like when you want to learn guitar, you start with the basics: rudimentary scales, chords, arpeggios, finger exercises, modes, so on. And then you build yourself up. And then next thing you know, in a short while, you are a virtuoso. Absolutely. An improvisationalist. That you've got it totally nailed down, and things will just flow to you. I mean, you have to work yourself to that level, of course, but it's just like anything else. You don't start out as an expert, you start out as a novice, a beginner. And then you just, move up and you progress and you advance and you expand and you grow and you learn and you gain more insight how to do things, and you gain your own sense of self, and you put your own, well, natural touch to these things and your own system that you contrive and create to allow you to relate to these things. Like, I'll use music theory as an example. The traditional music theory is very cold and generic. It has a lot of do's and don'ts, so I never really adhere to that. I respect it because I know a little bit of it, which is very good to know. But what I do is I build my own relationship with music, and I create my own relationship, which allows me a connection to the theory, but in my own way, not listening to the books of the do's and the don'ts. So I still have music theory, and I still relate to it on a personal level, as opposed to not knowing it at all. But I'm not governed by the invisible teacher in my head slapping me on the wrist, because the music theory says you're not allowed to do this with that, and you can't use this chord with these scales. And listen, there's no limits to your sacred space, what you call your imagination. Only those that you unnecessarily impose upon them and yourself.